What's up, guys? If you're still with me, thanks, I guess. It's kind of sad that I have to say that in week 3, but here we are. As I'm sure you already know, the Bills have done a couple of things this week, or this past week. Number 1, they lost to the Jets, falling 0-2 on the season. Number 2, they fired Greg Roman the next day, their offensive coordinator. And here we are, just left to wonder, is this completely coming off the rails after 2 games? This season may have just gone completely haywire from so optimistic to so pessimistic in a matter of 5 days. So, where do we start with this? I guess we'll talk about we'll do both. Greg Roman, is it a bad move? Think about the fans after week 2. From their perspective, it's a lot of Twitter and whatnot and social media is, we're never going anywhere with these guys, fire these guys. I don't mean the players, the coaches. Fire whoever, fire everyone, whatever. And then they actually fire someone and the fans are like, whoa, I can't believe we did this. We fired Greg Roman, what, it wasn't his fault, we allowed 37 points and yada yada yada. Well, I mean, do you want some drastic changes or what? Maybe the change you want is Rex. I get that. I don't know if I personally agree with that yet at this point, but I understand that you want changes. At no point had I even considered the fact that the Bills would be 0-2 right now. Didn't even enter my mind. Maybe they trip up in one game, but there's no way they lose both, and they did. And, now it's costing people jobs. It cost Greg Roman his job. And the number one thing that fans, I guess, are sort of complaining about is, well, we gave up 500 yards of offense, almost, to Fitz and the Jets. Fitz used to play quarterback for us. Like, what the heck? Rex, you're 8-2 against him in your career or something like that. Why are you firing your offensive coordinator? Some people are trying to say that it's like scapegoating. I don't think so. It's a defensive move by Rex because if he were to get fired midseason, now there's nobody really there to take his job. Don't buy into that. How about the fact that the Bills have 2 red zone drives in 2 weeks? 2. And one came against the Jets that made it 37, and the drive that made it 37-31. The offense has just been pathetic. They have 160 total yards in week 1. Sammy Watkins, Robert Woods, Charles Clay have 18 combined catches. Jarvis Landry for the Dolphins has 17 on his own. Just where is the big second half that Watkins had last year? And obviously I'm leaning on Watkins because he's supposed to be your playmaker, injury aside. You spent 2 first-round picks on him. Let's get him the ball. Right now, 102. That's how many players have more catches than Sammy Watkins through 2 weeks. He's 79th, tied for 79th in total targets. Completely unacceptable all around. That kind of stuff can get an offensive coordinator fired. I'm a little bit worried about Tyrod Taylor, though. Kind of touching with that. He's not getting the ball to Sammy Watkins. And I'm worried that he seemingly does not throw to the middle of the field. Like, can he see it? If you've seen the replay of that one play to Clay, I believe it was in the second quarter, it didn't go to Clay. It went to the sideline. And Clay, standing there like this, just runs, and nobody picks him up. He runs straight right off the snap. And it's just, whoa, my God, I'm here. And Tyrod throws it outside. It makes me worried. It does make me worried. Maybe that's the knock that, was, as a 6-round quarterback coming out, was against Tyrod Taylor. Maybe that was the thing. He can make long throws. Beautiful long ball. You saw the one to Goodwin. You saw the one rolling out to Salas. Unbelievable long ball. But he can't really throw to the middle of the field, or he just won't do it. Maybe he can, but he won't do it. Those are big throws, but they're not real quarterbacking throws. I guess the best way to put it, if you listen to the broadcast on CBS or NFL Network, Phil Simms, say what you want about Phil Simms, but his biggest criticism of Tyrod was that everything, all of his throws, they were playground throws, I believe is the term he used. And honestly, I think that's correct. He's not throwing into tight windows. He doesn't throw guys open, so to speak. And that is alarming. So far it's cost Greg Roman his job. The Bills, Sal Capaccio, WGR, has reported that it's more of an 18-game decision rather than a 2-game decision. Seems kind of weird considering the Bills were not that bad on offense last year, 13th or something like that, and led the league in big plays and plays and touchdowns from outside the red zone. So I mean, it's a little, is it weird? Sure, it's a little weird. But those are the people that are falling back on, Rex's defense allowing almost 500 yards and then firing the offensive coordinator. I'll tell you what, it does make sense, is what people are saying. I'll tell you what did make sense to me, and that's Rex's game plan against the Jets. That made sense. Trust my two best defenders at corner in Darby and Gilmore, and win the game, basically, that way. But Brandon Marshall, Eric Decker, Quincy Enunwa played out of their freaking minds. Fitz, too. Fitz just kept going back to the well. He would find the one-on-one matchup, and he would attack it. He was trusting his guys, just like Rex was trusting his guys to make plays. And the one-on-one matchups were won by the Jets. That's just the way it was. Rex's defense, his isolation, his Revis Island. He invented that thing, basically. So he leaves Gilmore and Darby, not all the time on islands, but for the first half, sure. Trust them. His guys let him down. That's the way I look at it. Gilmore and Darby let him down consistently. Fitz was just lofting balls up there for Marshall, for Decker, for Enunwa, for Jalen Marshall. Not like all of them, but like they were winning. They were winning the one-on-one matchups. The Bills ended up, like Rex said, he was afraid to blitz because they couldn't hold up on the back end. And I know that you never hear Rex Ryan say things like that. Like, is he losing his bravado? I don't really know, but he's right. What is he wrong about there? I mean, his corner, Gilmore, who wants to be the highest-paid corner in the league, completely let him down. Darby, who we thought was one of our better corners, and I still think is, they got let down. I've said it 6 times. Corners let them down. Secondary let them down. They tried everything as far as defensive setups go. Didn't work. So now we're 0-2. Anthony Lynn is the offensive coordinator. Can he solve it? I don't know. Does promoting your running backs coach to offensive coordinator, is that going to increase your passing game? I don't know. Maybe do they respond better to Anthony Lynn? Maybe. He's interviewed for head coaching jobs before. Maybe he's, pretty well respected around the league. He's been with Rex for a long time. He's been in the league for like 17 years or something like that. So we'll see. Bills haven't really run the ball that well yet either. There's tons of room for improvement all across the offense. Just, I guess the question is it too late? The Bills are 0-2. They're 0-2 in the conference. They're 0-1 in the division. And there's lots of groundwork ahead. Like, they basically have to go 10-4 from here on out to get in the playoffs. Pipe dream? Maybe. I don't know. I know the Bills are one of the only teams who have started 0-3 and still make the playoffs. I know Seattle started 0-2 and made the playoffs last year. So did Houston. I'm not saying the Bills are going to do it, guys. I'm just saying that it can be done. And I don't know. I'm going to be there to watch it. Are you going to be there to watch it? I'm gonna either go down with the ship or stay on the ship that goes 8-8 again, or be there when they finally break the drought. All I want them to do is, like I said last week, just throw the ball. Throw the ball. Run the ball successfully when you can, because they're not expecting you because you throw the ball so much. Like, look at last week. There were 5 100-yard rushers on 32 teams. Freaking 5. You know who they were? Matt Forte was one. Barely scratched the surface. Got to 100 yards against the Bills. 100 yards exactly. On 30 carries. Fozzie Whitaker, Melvin Gordon, LeGarrette Blount, and Isaiah Crowell. That's not Adrian Peterson. That's not Eddie Lacy. I know Jamal Charles didn't play, but that's not Jamal Charles. That's not Todd Gurley. That's not LaShawn McCoy. That's not Devontae Freeman or Latavius Murray or like, whoever. Or C.J. Anderson. Or I'm just going through running backs. I'm sure I missed one. Or Ezekiel Elliott. Whatever. Those are Isaiah Crowell, LeGarrette Blount, Melvin Gordon. Might be a better player this year. Fozzie Whitaker, backup. And Forte. Throw the ball. That's bottom line, throw the ball. Arizona this week. Arizona's 1-1. Arizona's not going to be an easy test for the Bills. It's going to be a tough test, but maybe that's what they need. It's Arizona's first road game. They've split their first 2 home games, as I said. They lost to the Patriots. Doesn't matter. It's going to be like that for the rest of our lives, guys. I think it might be. It just might. And then they destroyed Tampa last week 40-7. As you recall, they could have beaten New England if Chandler Catanzaro made a field goal, but he didn't. A lot of weapons on offense, a lot of weapons on defense for the Cardinals. Good coach in Bruce Arians. Carson Palmer, the quarterback, 5 touchdowns, no interceptions, 4th in yards per attempt, 9 plays of 20-plus yards. That's over 4 a game. So, you know, he's got all the weapons. Fitzgerald, Floyd, John Brown, Jerron Brown, David Nelson, incredibly versatile running back. However, Fitzgerald and the aforementioned Johnson are the only players with more than 5 receptions. So, I mean, maybe the Bills can make sort of scheme to take that away. We'll see. Even after a 47 win, Bruce Arians didn't seem satisfied. He seemed kind of mad. He criticized David Johnson for running the wrong route a couple times. Maybe he'll punish him. And something will happen there. And he won't play as much. And then Chris Johnson will just run haywire or something. I don't know. Arizona's defense, very good. Sorry, random pause, but like, just an overall. Arizona's defense is very good. Very aggressive. Good in man coverage. I guess the one thing that they really haven't been satisfied with, even though the fact that they have 4 sacks, is the pass rush has just been inconsistent at times, left a little bit more to be desired. But they do have Chandler Jones, Calais Campbell, is that Marcus Golden, is that his name? Deion Buchanan, terrific like linebacker / safety, plays that role very well, incredibly versatile. The secondary leads the team in tackles across the board pretty much. Buchanan, Tony Jefferson, Tyron Branch, Tyrann Mathieu, obviously. They're very good, guys. This is no joke. Arizona went to the NFC Championship last year. They got killed, but they're still a pretty good team. Bringing back a lot of the same guys. And it's a tough test. Really don't know what to expect out of the Bills with, you know, now that somebody got fired, is there some extra fire in there, some motivation? I honestly do wish we had Marcel Darius this week. I know I've kind of downplayed that. Probably could have used him last week because Fitz was just stepping up into the pocket, just dropping back, stepping up, whipping it. Complete. Wish we had him in there to disrupt the middle a little bit. Is he going to make a huge difference? Could make a difference, but a huge difference between winning and losing? Probably not. The Bills need to throw the ball successfully. They need to find their playmakers while Carson Palmer's finding his. Could be a shootout. I expect the Bills' defense to be better, but I expect Arizona's defense to be very good as well. So, and Arizona's offense is still really good. So let's make a prediction here. I'm going to say the Bills lose to Arizona and fall to 0-3 by a score of, let's go 27-20. Considering Arizona's, proficiency on offense, I guess 27 points a lot probably isn't that bad. But they're really good on defense too. They could score on defense. They did last week. Guys, let me know how you're feeling. Talk to me about this stuff. I'm just sitting here talking it out. Clearly you can tell, probably by the tone of my voice, that I'm very frustrated and just sort of tiresome. But I'm here. I'm not giving up. Say what you want. Call me delusional. Denial. Not just a river in Egypt. It's a good pun. Let me know how you're feeling. Comment on the video, whatever. Tweet me. My handle is the same as my username for Twitter, so you can catch me on there. It's week 3. A lot of time to go. So as always, go Bills.